Next, we will have Kevin Davis of KTB Graphics sharing with us about the Wellness Expo.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Kevin Davis, aka Kev the Barber. Some familiar faces that I see. So I just want to talk about the idea that I have. I'd like to call it the first annual Health and Hair Coatesville Community Expo. All right, I'm sorry. Um, my ask would be asking for $3,000, which would cover the cost of the event space, the signage, and the promotional materials. A grand prize package, which would include the industry latest style craft clippers, trimmers, combs, and other materials for the styles that come out and participate in this event. And my next slide is our why. So to get into the why and why I thought this was a good idea was because I can remember a time, as a barber, I'm cutting hair, and a customer comes in off the street. I don't know this person, it's first time seeing him, and he gets in the chair and he begins to tell me very, very intimate details about his life, things he was going through with his challenges with child support and his relationships. Um, how hard it was to make a living with these different challenges he was dealing with. And, this is somebody I've never seen. He's just coming off the street to get a haircut. So that experience, just seeing a person come in, not knowing me, and sharing intimate details about his life let me understand the importance that as barbers and cosmetologists, our importance that we have on people's mental health. We're kind of that liaison, that first contact, or something that there was something that day, whether it was the sound of the clippers, if it was the smell of the tonic, if it was the conversations that were going on in the background that made them feel very comfortable laying down things that really probably could be talking to a therapist about. So, and that reminded me of the exchange that we have in this industry because we share these things too. One thing that comes to mind was, how the barbers band together, coming out of the pandemic. We weren't considered essential personnel, but we did realize how important we were to the people that walked through our doors. So the challenge is, sorry, how can we increase access to mental and behavioral health services in the greater Coatesville area? So in my community and the people that I'm familiar with, there's a stigma with accessing mental health services within trustworthy environments. The barbershop seems to be one of those places. What better way to host an event centered around people that you trust most with your image and well-being? A popular saying in our industry is, if you look good, you feel good. All right, I'm sure everybody's heard that. So how do we increase health promoting activities in the greater Coatesville area? I propose we have an expo. Several neighborhoods in the immediate region, dealing with the gap analysis, several neighborhoods in the immediate region ranked the highest in the area deprivation index, correlating with the higher prevalence of chronic conditions. These areas are shaded in orange and red, as you can see on the display. So it shows that there's a lack of mental health treatment facilities in the Coatesville area. So I'm very grateful to be a part of this with the Alliance of Health Equity because this provides that opportunity for people. So our solution, I propose let's bring the barbers and cosmetologists together where they can share their talents and their experiences, let their individual followings come out in support of the people that they trust in their image, with their image as well as mental well-being. Let the attendees receive information and resources that they may not have known are available. Let's have some similar businesses come and take advantage of a unique opportunity to promote and sell products. Let's shine the light on the importance of mental health and positive self-image and the people that provide these services. Our benchmarks and our timeline would be from now till March would be our planning stage. The date of our project would be mid-April, and we intend for this event to be an annual event. Financials are covering, like I said earlier, the rental space would be the Midway Arches. I think it's a great facility. Their cost is $600. They have a refundable deposit of $500. I guess that covers if there's any damage or anything like that. There's an event insurance cost of $125. For the signs and promotional materials, $13.75. For the vendor signs and the booths and flyers and things of that nature. And then there's a grand prize raffle, what I was talking about, that Clipper package, $400 for the barbers and stylists that participate. Our team would be myself, Jermaine Thomas, and Taryn Alexander. We have a history of putting together these kind of events and the professionalism of those. So that's my trusted team. And my contact information is listed, Kevin Davis, AKA Kev the Barber. My phone number and my email is the original ktbbiz@gmail.com.
Kev the Barber.
Kev the Barber.
I finally put KTB together.
It is.
Thank you for closing it for me, man.
There it is.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, you are so calm, cool, and collected, I would lay down my personal information if I were sitting in your chair. Seriously, I'm being very serious.
Okay.
Are you anticipating including non-barber, the hairstylists from the typical women's side of the house that don't always go to barbers?
Yes.
Okay.
It's definitely, people from the barber community and the cosmetology.
Thank you. I
need
missed that.
stylists, I need men and women, I need all their participants involved.
So I love this idea. I used to work as a consultant for Centers for Disease Control at the federal level, and they were funding barbershop health, because that's where it happens.
Right.
So you know it, and now all of everyone here knows it. I would say if you want to make this an annual event, there might be an opportunity where there's training for you and your peers to how to continue it within your shop, so people aren't waiting a whole year.
Right.
And make sure you guys get the care you need, because you guys hearing this heavy stuff starts to weigh on you. So I would love to make sure we figure out a way to get you guys self-care after you do your first one, and then you pick it up on an annual basis.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I just recently completed, it was a program through the Alliance for Health Equity, where the barbers came in. We were certified with being mental health ambassadors, and we were able to have materials available in the shop and pass it along. That's why this is I see the need for it. It's very important. There's a lot of people going through a lot of hard things out here, and I love cutting hair. I love doing what I do, and the major part of what we do isn't actually the cutting, but it is the conversation and the communication and all that goes, the exchange with our customers.
Yeah, what you're offering is along the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
You and I can't do treatment,
Right.
but people just need to know there's someone they can go and feel comfortable talking to. That's huge.
Absolutely.
So well done, Kev
Thank
the
you.
Barber.
Thank you.
Okay, are you actually, for the day of the expo, are you actually going to be providing services as well? So people could come in and not only hear about resources, but you're actually going to be cutting hair and doing all the things that people do?
Yeah, well, how I envision it is, having, vendors that are going to be able to come in and sell products dealing with the health and beauty community,
Okay.
whether it's soaps or lotions. Like I could think of Reese soaps and, people that make hair butters and all this, anything dealing with, with just the image part.
Okay.
And then I also want to set up an area where during the event, there's actually barbers or styles, if they would like, that could perform a hairstyle or something like that,
I think that would be great in
Right.
terms of attracting people to come in, because knowing what you talked about, and totally agreeing with you that it's hard to get people in the door if they just feel like they're coming in to talk about, like if they feel like
Right.
it's mental health in the guise of barbering, right? I don't know if barbering's a word, but like that still could be a hurdle for some folks. And the other thing I would say, shameless plug for an organization that provides children's mental health, is also if you can make sure if there are people that do specialize in barbering and haircuts and whatever for kids, to try to get that in too, because think about the message you'd be sending. Like, my dad and my mom are coming in and they trust these folks, and we're going to talk a little bit about mental health while we're here. That's an important message for children to learn. That's going to help break down the stigma and also make it comfortable for them.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, once again, I think it's a great idea. Yes, over here, yes.
Thank you. It was a great presentation, and I can relate to it because I just know, like, to have your hair cut or styled is very personable, and you have to trust someone, especially if you go somewhere for the very first time. You're very nervous, and to have somebody cut your hair, and then you might walk out of there not looking good.
Mm-hmm.
But so that level of trust, that always makes people feel comfortable to open up and talk. And that's what a lot of people need, just for people to listen. And I liked her comment as well, as about if they had a draw for maybe having someone doing hair as well, then that way that can bring more people into the event. And then your whole plug about look good, feel good is perfect. Because if you look, keep it simple and it's straight to the point and dynamic, and you don't have to try to figure anything out. So excellent.
Thank you.
Anybody?
Oh, they have one.
Yeah, they finally disclosed that they actually have
Okay, that's funny. Here you go.
Can you speak to your plans for marketing and how much you would tie into mental health into the conversation around marketing?
Well, as far as marketing, Jermaine Thomas, which is my partner, who's, like I said, the founder of Icon 411, we started this marketing promotion company in 2001. So we've done a lot of events, that are similar. Shakira, I know, we shared space at the Midway Arts Building, and one of the events that we did when I was a participant in the Coastal Black Media Renaissance was a business expo. We tied it in with fashion. So we used a lot of grass market techniques, for those people that, we just borrowed everybody's following as far as, the participants. They brought their group out. We used flyers, we used social media, word of mouth, and that's what, brought everybody in. So like you had mentioned earlier about the, just thinking about that challenge of how do I make this not seem like it's just about mental health, but it's, it is a, hair industry theme, is the challenge. So I want it to be fun. Part of our planning and thought process is, we're not, for the vendors that come and they want to sell products, maybe there's a cost for them, but then for the barbers and the stylists, we would, they have full free participation. Raffle would be free, and that would get them excited about coming out, getting a chance to advertise themselves, and it'd just create a cyclone of a lot of interested people. So, I'm hoping that answered that question.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
How you doing? Really like this idea. I think you did a great job of demonstrating how this can reduce the overall stigma that you're seeing, in the shop. And I think, one suggestion might be, as you're moving forward with this event, to, not only look at mental health, but just look at overall health. It might eliminate some of that stigma. You might be able to have like a physical fitness center show up to it, or a gym or something that can do some sort of demo out there, maybe some primary care as well. And that way it's overall total health, but with a strong emphasis on the mental health component, but just to kind of eliminate some of that stigma.
Right. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was what I talked to Taryn about. It was helping me plan is, having massage therapists come in, people that can do that for grown-ups, kids, everybody that's in the industry that deals with any type of thing that, builds up your image and your self-esteem and your health. We definitely want them to be full participants in it. It's going to make the crowd diverse and interesting, and hopefully an event worth doing every year.
Great, thank you.
They don't need a mic for this, but if you do the healthcare piece, for chest pain, we can do blood pressure checks, glucose stuff, that kind of
I'm for it all.
Before you go, did you have a question?
I just think it's a great idea. As an esthetician, I'm in the beauty world as well, and I absolutely understand, people lay on my table and
Right.
lay all their burdens out on the
Right.
table as well. So there is definitely a need for people in our space to have an awareness of mental health and what it is. Just an idea, if the stylists or the people that come, if they want to enter the raffle, maybe it should be that they go through the same program that you went into, so that we have more stylists that are mental health ambassadors, because you do hold that space for so many people.
Definitely, I'll take a note of that. Make that part of the planning. All right, thanks.
I have one more thought for you.
Mm-hmm.
I assume you may
Be aware of the CCIUs, Chester County Intermediate Units, Technical College, that teaches barber.
Yes.
When you grow this into subsequent years, I say you invite them, you get them trained equally, and you're growing your own profession as well, and engage them in that outreach to the community, because you're a great role model, and my nephew is in it, and he is so eager to take his license and fly with it.
We got
So
there's a lot of big ideas, that I'm hoping that this event can spring into. So I want to include everybody that can make it a big thing and something that's good for this community. All right.